Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. If you like what you're hearing here on Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, you know what? Head over to Facebook and join our Facebook group. That is where a bunch of sports fans get together and talk sports online. Best sports group on Facebook. And then if you really like what you're hearing on the show, share it with a friend and subscribe on your podcast app. And
Every time he's
we're going to reel it in. We're going to do a show.
Like, go get away.
We're going to do a show. I'm already recording, so we're
All right,
doing a
man.
show.
All right, man. All right.
Hey, man, I'm just talking, all right?
Go away on vacation and come back
Hey,
with
y'all.
attitude.
What's up, y'all? This is your boy Hanger from Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Thank you for joining us. Another week, another not dollar, we didn't get any donations, so another not free beer. But we're going to keep on going until we start having that money rolling in for
Bar,
beer,
keep
baby.
it on.
I don't think it's ever going to roll in, but that's good. We're here for the fun, not the, and the drinks and all that fun stuff. So thank y'all for joining us. Another week of no college football. I'm actually counting it down till college football starts back up. It's been sad. I had to get myself into the NFL spirit this week, so here I am with the NFL spirit. Let's go ahead and talk about some NFL football this week and some college basketball. You want to do that, Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so let's do some introductions real quick. I got my man Chopper over here.
Ew.
What are you drinking, Chopper?
Nothing right now. Ice.
Ice.
Little lime in it. I need a
Ice with
refill
lime.
of a margarita.
It's margarita. You've been drinking a lot of margaritas lately.
No, I haven't.
Not
Just
a
one.
lot, like
Just
not
one.
quantity. I'm just
Just
saying.
one.
Every time I see you, you drink a margarita now. So it's just you switch from margaritas to.
You haven't seen me in a year.
That's right. We got my boy the Rebel.
He saw you
Something, man.
What are you drinking, Rebel? Did they have some makers for you?
They
this
had
week?
they had makers this week.
Okay, good.
You know, I rebelled last week and didn't show up because I told you I didn't have any makers. So he got some more.
I am glad that they went out there and got some makers for you. We have the sponsorship going again. That's good. And we got my man, Who's Your Daddy? Who's Your Daddy? What are you drinking?
I've got an empty bottle of Bud Light.
Are you going to be grabbing another Bud Light here in a
Grabbing
minute?
another one here in a little bit.
All right, that's good. That's good. And I am drinking a Coors Light. This is your boy Hanger. And we do have Cheeks over here, but she's on the phone with my wife. So she's been taken away for a few minutes. I'm not sure why. Hopefully, Hanger's not in trouble.
Probably.
That's what we're hoping for.
Amy's telling her not to announce that she's pregnant on the air.
That would be a surprise to me also. So hopefully that's not the case. And also, you guys know what happened to me last month.
Yes,
So if that is
yes.
the case.
As I like to say, either you and her have a conversation or you and a doctor have a conversation.
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Your wife is great, by the way. She's awesome.
Okay, so how you doing there, Cheeks? Nice to see you.
Thanks.
We do have a lot of NFL talk going on tonight, and I know you are an NFL spokesperson over here, so I'm sure you're very excited about that, right?
I watched it all weekend.
You did? Okay, so that's phenomenal, because I was snowboarding all weekend, so I did not get to watch a lot of sports. But
I did it for both of us.
I did watch a lot of recaps, and I did do a lot of research to make sure that I knew what I was talking about this weekend, or
Good.
this week, so...
What are you drinking?
That's a good looking drink.
It's pretty, isn't it? It's
It is.
cranberry vodka and soda.
Cranberry vodka?
And soda. And it's a double.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the kind of day I have.
Have you ever had that pink vodka that they have here?
Pink Whitney.
Sarah used to drink it, I think.
Pink Whitney, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I used to drink that all the time, but they've got cranberry right now, so I drink their cranberry version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That sounds delicious. Let's get into some NFL talk, shall we?
Yes.
Shall we? Okay.
We shall.
So, I don't think anyone expected this, right?
No.
But the Jaguars made it out last weekend. They mounted one of the best comebacks in NFL playoff history, possibly.
Yes.
I don't know if it was the best, because
I
that's
think, I think it's the third largest comeback, if I remember correctly, is what they said.
Yeah, to beat
They were down, what, 27?
27.
Yeah.
27 unanswered points.
Yeah.
I think the only two others were the Titans and Buffalo back when Frank Wright brought them back against
Four
Houston.
interceptions
That's
in the
a
first
few
half.
years ago.
Yeah, just a few.
4 interceptions.
3 of them to
Yeah.
the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Goldilocks over there dialed it in second half.
Yeah.
And came back, gave him the confidence, got that confidence back, and won. What were your thoughts on that game while it was happening then, Cheeks? I know you were probably sitting your butt right in a bar stool here because they got the Sunday ticket, right?
I wasn't.
Although that was Saturday.
Yeah, I wasn't, but surprisingly, I thought it was over with, and so did the rest of the world. And it was shocking that they could come back. But I think the problem was that I think they thought that they had won too. So the second half was
So they just took
a
their foot off
misnomer
the
for them.
accelerator.
Exactly.
You see that time and time again
Yeah.
in college football, though,
Yeah.
where a team thinks that they're going to win, the coach pulls it back, they just do some running plays or play it safe,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the other team comes back. I mean, it never
Right.
happens to the Gators. Never. Gators never come back, but it seems like it happens to
Never.
every other team that I
I was
despise.
sure that they were going to lose by 3 touchdowns. Sure. It's in my predictions last week. They were going
Okay.
to lose by 3 touchdowns. And
So did you
Clearly they didn't.
Did you lose any drinks on this to anybody?
no, thank God I didn't bet anybody.
Okay, good, because I know you were a betting woman last week. It seems like to me.
Yeah,
So-
I also didn't take Rooster's bet.
Okay, what
So
was
it was one-sided. He said, we haven't gotten to that yet, but he said if the Cowboys lose to the Buccaneers, I get a year free beer.
If the Cowboys lose
Lose
to
to
the
Buccaneers.
If the Cowboys lose, oh okay.
The Buccaneers
Gotcha.
won.
The Buccaneers.
Yeah, so I
Wait,
don't get a year free
The
beer.
Buccaneers did not win.
That's right.
The Cowboys won.
The Cowboys
So
won,
I
yeah.
didn't win because
Oh, okay.
the
Because
Cowboys
we both
won.
thought that Tampa Bay was going to win.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been great to have free beer every time he's here. But
Yeah.
I think that he would never show up.
Yeah, I think I'd never see Spencer again for the rest of my life.
That's probably true. All right, so who's your daddy? Did you get to watch this game?
Yes, I watched not all of it.
Okay.
But I was like a lot of the people. I felt like it was about over. I watched it through the third quarter and was shocked when I got up the next morning and saw the final
Saw
score.
the final score.
Yeah, it was a little
And
shocking.
I was glad. I mean, in the background, I wanted them to do well after what they had to go through last year as a team.
Yeah, I feel like going. What was their record? They only won 2 games last season, something like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was 3, but yeah, something like
3
that. yeah.
games, yeah. So to go from that, fire your coach, and then all of a sudden
It's-
you're in the playoffs. Come
Well,
on,
it says a lot about the coach.
no one expected that.
Well, I've said all along just to get them into the playoffs based off of last year, he should be coach of the year. I know the Eagles coach has put together a great unforeseen
Peterson used to
season.
be the Eagles coach when they won
But
the Super Bowl.
he should be the coach of the year just to even get them into the playoffs. This is a classic example of not trying to be cliche that with a big lead they stopped playing to win but started playing not to lose. At which point
Yeah.
you start to see yourself get tight. You do things you don't normally do. And look, San Diego chucks the ball around. That's how they've gotten here. And all of a sudden, the second half is starting. I think 3/4 of their runs were in the second half, or half of their runs were like in the fourth quarter, as they were just trying to hold on for dear life. And again, it's once you're in that mode and you've built confidence from somebody else. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was convinced he couldn't throw a bad pass by the time the fourth quarter rolled around. Add to the fact, don't ever take. I feel like Jacksonville's got something if they can build on it. Look, you got him and ETN that were sitting in the backfield. They were the battery in college. Those two know one another better than any 2 players that are on that field.
Yeah.
Those guys, if they can continue to put a few key players around them and build on this, but next year will be you'll tell the tale because now their schedule is going to have a division-winning schedule that they're going to have to play to see if they actually have momentum or not. But ironically, talking to guys around the campfire, I had Jacksonville to win the game. Now, once they were down 27 points, I was like, well, I missed this one. Well, I should have bet on it. A money line bet would have paid me very well the other day. But that being said, it was fun to watch. It's always fun to watch, once you see that momentum building, are they going to be able to do it? I actually watched a video the other day with some Charger fans. They started the bar and how they were excited and what they looked like at the end when they had gone home for the second half.
Oh, that's crazy,
It was
yeah.
quite comical, but, good for them. It's fun. I don't, do they have what it takes to make a deep run at this? No, I don't think so.
No.
Big win.
Oh,
Next
They
stop, Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
You show up to
Trevor
play the
Lawrence-
Chiefs, you better be ready.
Trevor Lawrence has
Yeah.
to pull out, and we'll get to that one, but he's going to have to pull out all the stops to figure out how to beat Kansas City.
I think he pulled out stops to win this game because he had to. They had to go to open up the entire playbook. They couldn't hold anything back. They showed everything they've got.
Yeah,
Good story, something to build on. Next year they'll be good.
Now let's go
I
have
think
some fun.
show stops in Kansas City.
Yeah, and you're looking at that game. I mean, I know you and I were probably drinking beers halfway down the mountain by the time that this
Margaritas,
game was on.
remember?
So
That being-
margaritas, yeah.
that
No,
being-
you had whiskey sprites or something.
right.
That way, yeah.
That being said, though, I am
That actually
quite
sounds good.
surprised the spread on that game is only 8.5. Kansas City is only an 8.5 point favorite.
It's the
Yeah.
NFL, though. You don't have that much disparity between the teams, you know?
I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? Based on what happened last year, let me refresh your guys' memories last year. The divisional round, which is what we're coming up to this weekend, had 4 one-score games. One-score games. 4 of them. All 4 of them were so incredibly tight. And Kansas City and Buffalo went into overtime.
Oh,
for
that was one of the
Kansas
greatest
City to
NFL
win
games I've ever watched in my
42 to
life.
36. You're right.
They scored like 30 points in the last 10 minutes of the game or something
Kansas
like
City
that.
won that game,
In
right?
overtime.
Kansas City did win,
Okay.
yes, yeah. So I think that's part of the play that goes into it. You know, they run all these simulations and stuff anyway. But
Yeah.
when it comes to this, yes, a lot of it is talent, the record, whatever, the coaching. But a lot of it is the fact that you made it that far, and it's a mental game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's move on down to Tampa Bay because that's where they played the game, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I didn't get
Yes.
to watch the game because
Yeah.
I
You
was-
didn't miss anything.
Yeah. So Cowboys beat the Bucks, possibly showing Tom Brady the door towards retirement. He'll be 46 he's turns
I don't
46 in
know.
August.
Did you see his
Interview.
interview?
He wasn't retiring.
He's not retiring.
He wasn't. It wasn't.
really?
It wasn't. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He's like,
interview. It's like I still got business to.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was real short. and
He
real
wants
kinda-
one more ring.
It was
man.
real
He's
short,
determined.
real awkward.
he wants to go play with Devontae Adams. I can tell you what he wants.
I'm wondering if
I'd love to
I'm
see him
wondering
on
he's free agent now. He can go. He could go somewhere that'll build a team around him, and that's what he did when he went down from when he went down to Tampa Bay. They
Right.
built a team around him to win that. Like he had the protection he needed. He had the running backs that he needed. He had the people outside to throw to that he needed.
But if he goes to the Raiders,
That's already
They're
there.
going to have to do more than that. They're going to have to build a coach around him too, because that coach is not going to be a Tom Brady coach.
Yeah. Tom Brady seemed like he led that team the
He
year
coached
that they
Tom
won
Brady
that-
before.
Won that Super Bowl. So
He's not that coach now.
Yeah. But no, that's the thing. That's why Las Vegas, I think, is appealing to him. There's no building. The pieces are in place. You look at that squad and go, why did they do so poorly this year? There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
I mean, talent-wise, there's no excuse for it. It's there's some dysfunction there that is more than can the players play the game. And
Yeah.
I think it starts with the head coach. He's a good assistant. He's not a good head guy.
Exactly. He's not the head guy. Yeah.
what happened to the Bucks this season? Who's your daddy? I mean, have you watched a lot of their games?
Yeah, I watched them. I just think he had a down year. I don't think he's surrounded with the type of players he had been surrounded by. I mean, listening last night, they were last in the league and trying to run, and yet Brady was first in the league in the passes attempt.
No, well, here's I think a key piece that is going to be interesting if he does play again. Do you know what Brady's average yards per catch were this year? 9.8. He is not stretching the field anymore. He's not throwing the 50 and 60-yard bombs. So therefore, the safeties cheat up, the corners cheat up. They're playing everything in the middle of the field. You're now bringing linebackers into coverage.
Is it because he's so old and arthritic?
Easy now.
That man has no arthritis.
Now,
It's
but, and the
not-
thing is that you look at the receivers. He had receivers that could go down the field and get the ball. So again, it's just a matter. Was it a?
How many times did you see drops throughout the whole course of the
It's
year?
very true. Very,
It's
very
amazing.
true. So, is it they try to build the offense around the personnel they thought that gave them a best chance, or is it that his arm strength has dropped off now to where he can't throw the ball 60 yards?
I'll take B.
Yeah,
Biology would tell you that's a safe bet.
yeah. I mean, you're 46 years old. You're a little. I mean, for me, I get out there and throw the ball with my kids and play catch, and my shoulder hurts after about 10 or 15.
Bro, I need WD-40 to roll out of bed in the morning, and I'm 46. So what are you talking about? I'm like the freaking Tin Man.
Oh yeah. That being said, this game right here, 52 total yards rushing.
Yeah.
There was, Tampa Bay's offensive line can't put a dent in a can.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like to me.
No, the
if
Cowboys
that's the
played their
case.
best game, and the Buccaneers played their worst game.
Yeah, like you have Ezekiel Elliott back there. The dude can run, and he couldn't do anything in that game. I mean, he had 52 yards rushing against the Cowboys. I mean, do you think the Cowboys are right? I mean, they seem like they
I
played a
think the
good
Cowboys in week
Super Bowl.
1 to go to the Super Bowl. They're still alive.
game. And
Everybody laughed at me when
So
I did
that's
that
great.
too.
And Dak Prescott, I mean,
Still alive.
last season he came there. He had some injuries and stuff, but when he was playing good. This season, I mean, that game yesterday was pretty solid, but then again,
This
the
season
entire
with
season
Dak,
has been
he's
pretty
the
solid.
most unpredictable. He could have the worst day of his life, the best day of his life, the worst day of his life, the best day of his life.
At one point.
He played 12 games and had 15 interceptions. He had the league's record in interceptions, and he only
And he
played
played
12
5 less
games.
games.
He's not as
Yeah.
unpredictable as the kicker, though.
The kicker's not been
as
that bad all
unpredictable
year.
as the
Right,
kicker.
exactly.
In the golfing terms, he got the yips. That's what he
Yeah.
got.
I mean, you missed
Golly.
one, but was that 3 total or 4 total? 4 total.
4.
How does that happen? I mean,
Normally, I give the kicker the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times, only because my son's a kicker. But
You get psyched out.
you got snaps and holds, man. The snap and the holds got to be perfect.
There
every
was
time.
nothing wrong with any of them. That dude got the yips.
Did he?
And he had no weather
Or the
issues,
shanks, or whatever you want to call it. It was
I'm thinking this. I think the Cowboys pull the free agency card. They're gonna go and they're gonna get Tom Brady to come be their kicker, and he's gonna win a Super
You're an
Bowl
idiot.
with
You're
the
an
Cowboys
idiot.
this year.
You're
Not
an idiot.
happening.
No,
No,
get the
impossible.
guy from the Raiders that doesn't do anything. Janikowski, get him to come and go.
Seabass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they need somebody back there.
That
Or I have a better idea. How about Bill Maher? Because clearly Brett Maher doesn't do a good job. So if they get Bill Maher, the comedian, he might do a better job.
I think Chopper can go down there and do a better job.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I mean,
honestly, with that lead after 3, go for 2. You
Right.
get the ball on the 2-yard line,
Right.
you're running all over them. Just start
You might as
going
well.
for
Yeah,
2.
play the odds. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so is Dak Prescott going to be able to take on the challenge of moving this team forward, though? Thoughts on that? I mean,
Against the
Absolutely.
49ers, against the best rookie quarterback that probably ever existed.
we're getting there. We're getting there because that's an interesting story in and of
Yeah.
itself, isn't it? But I mean, Brady's not done. We can't. That was my question. You guys say no, based upon what you said that he talked
Yeah.
about on that interview.
Yeah, it was a real awkward interview. I tell you, it was like short and just awkward and not very inspirational, and it was just blah. And
it
that tells
wasn't.
me he's coming back.
It wasn't like the final speech of the GOAT.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm the walking away, I'm the greatest
Yeah.
player of all time. It's like, yeah, we played terrible this year. We had holes we had to fill. See you next year. I mean, that was the disposition of it.
That's the way
Yeah.
it was.
He's always been somewhat low key. He's a very pretty much predictable, straight edge, actually boring when he talks guy. But he had nothing in him. So I think we'll see something. I wouldn't be surprised if Gronkowski came back.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well. I mean, when you look at someone like Tom Brady, he's the highest achiever in his sport. He's probably one of the highest achievers in the world in general
Yes.
when it comes to just winning. And when something like that, when you lose like that, it takes a lot out of you. You know, it deflates you for a second. It hurts them more than it hurts you and me losing
Right.
because of the way that they are.
Because this is a fun conversation. Chew on this for a minute.
Uh-oh.
Brady at quarterback, Gronk at the tight end, Devontae Adams at wide receiver, and what's the running back from Alabama that's out there that from like 3 years ago that's just a beast?
Najee Harris?
No, it's not Najee. Jacobs. Jacobs. That's disgustingly good. And oh, by the way, their offensive line is actually pretty good. It had nothing. That's why Carr just couldn't hit the broadside of
I
the
wouldn't be
barn.
surprised if Mark Davis didn't put the money out for that, because Mark Davis this year came out about the people that were coming to the great Roomba in Las Vegas, and he said
It does look like one.
He spent all this money on his giant Roomba, And the majority of the people that are coming to the games aren't Raiders fans.
No,
They're the other
They make it a
team.
destination to come to Vegas and watch a game.
But
Right.
there was a time when Tampa Bay would be full of people from the other team as well. And
Right.
like in baseball, you would go watch the Tampa Bay, the Rays play, and I was a Red Sox fan. You go there, it's like a home game for the Red Sox. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's true, a lot
there
of
are
places.
certain teams like that, and
And
you
Las
know, the
Vegas,
Raiders.
I think, will always be like that because it's that kind of a destination
Yeah,
venue.
and the Raiders haven't been there that long,
No.
right? So that being the case as well, you haven't developed that fan base at home. If they start having winning seasons, they need that.
Yeah,
to
just
start.
one
Right.
good season.
Yeah,
Right. But then I
change all
think
that.
they'll also stop the ticket availability to visitors, too.
yeah. You had Tampa Bay back in 2002. Was it when they won the Super Bowl?
Brad Johnson.
Nobody watched Tampa Bay in the 90s. Like they had those ugly uniforms. They changed
I like
the
those
uniforms out.
uniforms. I like the Buccaneer on the helmet.
Yeah, they
I
start
did
winning
too,
a little bit,
honestly.
and then they're filling the stadium. But then it just went to crap through the 2000s,
Yeah.
and then then Tom Brady comes and everyone's a Tampa Bay fan again.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I mean that's the same thing that can happen in Las Vegas. Although it'll be the first time it happens because that's the first NFL team that they've had, right?
Right.
So
Yes, you're correct.
moving
Oh,
on,
but the Oakland A's are going there.
Yeah.
is that
Right.
finalized now?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I've heard
because they're
it.
looking
They're
for...
tearing down the Rio and going to build
Yep.
a baseball stadium.
Yeah, so the ink isn't quite dry, but yes.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. So that's gonna be a sports town now.
It
Trying
is.
to be.
All right, 49ers are expected to win against Seattle. I'm pretty sure no one that was not unexpected.
I didn't expect it to be that big of a margin, though.
Yeah.
That was the shocking thing to me.
And all the other games seem to kind of shape up as expected as well. So let's stay on the 49ers, though, for a second. Cowboys at 49ers this coming weekend. This is a huge game, in my opinion. I know the haters are going to hate on the Cowboys. They always do.
It's old school.
Dak Prescott is healthy, playing good football. You guys said he was up and down through the season. That's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. Hopefully he has a good game against the 49ers. And then you got Brock Purdy. Might be the least
Mr. Cyclone!
yeah, might be the least expected place that he could possibly be in his life right now, and that's going to be playing in a playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys. He was the last person to be drafted in the NFL draft last year, rookie season.
He's the backup to the backup to the backup.
Yeah, he was a third-string quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant, and now here
Yeah.
he is. Huge place to play. He's won 5 games in a row, doing well,
Every
putting up
game he started, he won.
putting up 300 yards a game, 3 or 4 touchdowns a game.
Yep.
I mean, is this just a great football team around him, or
Right.
is he confident? I
And
don't
no
know.
interceptions. So
Both.
the playoff game, 332 yards, no interceptions with 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 3 passing. He's amazing.
I mean, this is the story of the.
Yeah.
If they win and keep on winning, this is the story of the season right there.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're gonna have entire ESPN shows dedicated to this story right here.
Is he the next Frank Wright that takes a team to the Super Bowl after their key quarterback gets hurt in the middle of the year and one Jim Kelly?
Well, you could do the whole Nick Foles and Carson Wentz thing too.
Of course, come on, man. I'm talking about Jim Kelly and you're talking about Carson Wentz. Get out of here with all that.
Yeah, I want a Super Bowl off of that. I'm taking it. I want a Super Bowl.
Who's your daddy? Pipe in on that story, man.
Well, you know, his parents are famous. That's all they do, show them on TV. Purdy's parents. I'm thinking Purdy Boy stops this weekend because he hadn't faced a defense like Dallas Cowboys. If they play defense like they did last week, it'll be a whole different story and a whole different outcome. I really believe that. And I like San Francisco, but I just think the defensive side of the ball and their rush that they put forth last week, they can contain and still continue that amount of effort. I think it's going to be a long day for San Francisco.
I projected them in the Super Bowl when we first had this conversation, the 49ers, and I'm still projecting them there. The main reason being is they were winning with Garoppolo, who is an average quarterback at best. Honestly, if you look
But
at
he's
the
the
weapons,
cutest quarterback.
I'll lean on you for that. But if you look at San Francisco, the talent, the team they had, if they had Patrick Mahomes, they may not have lost a game this year. They are that good on both sides of the ball, but they had an average quarterback. And so therefore they keyed on the run, they keyed on short passes, but Garoppolo's still able to move the ball. I think Purdy's a better quarterback than Garoppolo is, and what you're seeing is the juggernaut that San Francisco potentially could be now that they added Christian McCaffrey. That dude's gone nuts from that trade. I mean, he hadn't gotten hurt, knock on wood, he doesn't, because I really like the guy. But his numbers,
putting up a lot of yards?
he's putting up stupid numbers.
Okay.
And so therefore, I disagree with that one. Is I think they are set to make a run to play your Eagles and see who's the best
You're allowed
team.
to disagree. That's your opinion, but I believe Dallas is going to be shown.
Are you going to put a beer on it?
Right there with you, who's your daddy.
Right
Cowboys, take this
Yep.
one.
I think
All
it's
day
a
long.
defensive powerhouse.
Is there
They will
any
beat the
way?
Eagles.
Is there any way they play this game without honoring Dwight Clark because of the history?
Don't make me cry. Dwight Clark's my all-time favorite football
I'm
player.
saying though, I mean, it
I
was
have an
there,
autographed
the
jersey.
catch, the whole bit. They haven't played. I don't think they've played in San Francisco since then. Yes, they have. They played back with Dion and that bunch when they were there. But
Yeah.
you know, with him just passing a year ago, you know they got to do
It's been
something.
longer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, time
it's been
flies.
like 3 or 4, yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
I
just-
digress.
My 82. Huh?
I do think the Cowboys have it in them to win this game. I think that experience a lot of times does play over the story. It plays over. It's, I mean, a great team. But you got it as soon as Purdy gets sacked, as soon as he throws an interception, will that confidence just deflate out of him and it
Yeah.
goes away?
Well, it'll deflate, but I think that he has the ability to come back.
I don't think that. I think it's one of the times they don't. He wasn't expected to be there. Nobody cared. He wasn't even supposed to make the roster. He was the last guy drafted. He's
Right.
playing so loose. He don't care. He's going to get paid next year, whether it be because San Francisco keeps him around or somebody trades for him and pays the guy. He's proven he can play there.
Yes.
He's playing loose. He has nothing to lose
We
here.
all know those players, they either have great games or they have sloppy games. There's really kind of no in between.
He hasn't had a sloppy game yet,
But
and he
does-
hasn't had bad
Yeah.
competitors.
Here's
either.
another key piece of this, and I will give the who was San Francisco's coach? I've gone blank.
Well, I can tell you, it's not. It's not Bill Walsh.
We'll have to be able to do it back.
Anyway, the reason being is the thing that he has done with Purdy, and if you look at the games that he has played, that coach has done a fantastic job of putting him in positions to be successful. He's not asking him to do more than he can't, and he's not asking him to, look, we're going to take these risky plays and we're going to put you behind the sticks. He goes, I know what your capabilities are, and we're going to go with that. I put good talent around you. That coach has managed him very, very well and is making him helping him to be very successful.
Yes.
All right, let's move
All those are
on.
good points.
Who's your daddy's giving me the evil eye over here. Moving on. So we're going to go on to the Giants at Philadelphia. The best team in the NFL right now
The Giants.
is not the Giants. And it's most likely Philadelphia. I mean, they're
Yeah.
playing really good football. They're firing on all the cylinders that they need to fire on. And honestly, the Giants, they're not been that impressive this season, in my opinion. But do the Eagles fumble this game, or do they lose to the Giants?
I think my Eagles are still going to dominate, but
What?
I do have some concerns.
You got them written down on your phone?
I'm trying to be realistic.
Okay.
So my biggest concern is, well, of course, it's going to be Jalen's shoulder. My second concern is Jalen against the blitz. He is 26th in the league against the blitz. When a blitz comes on, he collapses. He doesn't do well with the blitz. And
I mean, he's quick to jump out of the pocket for sure. He's,
right. Oh yeah, he is. But New York's defense has blitzed more than any other defense in the NFL.
So they're certainly going to bring on that blitz whenever they're playing
Right.
against Philadelphia.
And I'm sure Sirianni's thought of this, and they're working on this. It's still scary to me.
Well, yeah.
The thing with the blitz with him is, and there's nothing he can do about this, is Hurts is how tall? How tall is he?
He's a shorty.
Yeah, he's what, 5'11", maybe?
Yeah, for football,
So,
he's a shorty. Yeah.
the blitz they're going to throw at him is coming straight up the middle. What he has been successful doing is his line has been fantastic
Yeah.
to allow the holes to open up that he can see lanes. And when he can't do that, if they blitz at the middle, it's now him scrambling out, and what can he do on the run?
Right.
Think of Doug Flutie. How did Doug Flutie make it around? He never threw from
yeah.
the pocket. He ran out because he can't see over these 6'4"
Right.
giants.
Yeah.
So there's no pun intended. But therefore, if they blitz him up the middle, it's going to be his ability to get outside that pocket, be mobile enough, and throw at awkward angles with a
great
hurt
scramble.
shoulder in order to keep the sticks moving. I mean, I think that's what you'll see. You're going to see their linebackers coming hard and coming often right up through the gaps.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I do really think that they do need to run the ball more. One of the biggest mistakes we made was that last game against Dallas, and we barely ran the ball compared to what we'd done in the past. Minshew kept throwing and throwing. I'm like, stop throwing.
My projection is, at least early on, if they have success, is you're going to see Philadelphia screen them to death. Let them come through.
Yeah.
Dump it to the running back, get 8 to 10. Line up and do it again. Because that's going to keep those guys from running in there so hard. If they just keep dumping and screening them to death, that's you make those linebackers hesitate a little bit. Now you let the man do what he's got to do at that point.
Yes.
So the scheme is going to be whether they beat them or not. Do they run a good scheme against them and that defense? And if they do, Philadelphia wins the game.
God, I hope so. But I'll be here at 8:15 on Saturday night watching it
still
at
open?
MJ's Bar and Grill.
MJ's Bar and Grill, come on down.
Are they still
have
open
the,
that late?
They have the NFL
Or until my
Sunday
game's
ticket.
over. Yes.
Who's your
Maybe
daddy?
11. Yes, sir.
Give me your thoughts on this game. Giants at Eagles.
Eagles. I believe the Eagles all the way. I think the Giants played well last week, but without a doubt, I just think the Eagles will win this game.
What
I
do
agree
you?
with that, and I expect to see the Cowboys and Eagles rematch. I'm looking forward to that.
God.
It's going to be exciting to watch
For
if
the
that does
Super
happen
Bowl.
for sure. All right,
Yes.
the next big game of the week, we got Goldilocks himself
Yeah.
playing against
Oh, dear Lord.
Kansas City. Jaguars at Kansas City. Kansas City is most likely one of the best teams in the NFL as
My
well.
favorite thing
if
about
you're looking
this-
if you're looking between the two, I mean, Kansas City has great quarterback, great
Yes.
team all around.
The best
Philadelphia.
ranked quarterback in the NFL. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Patrick Mahomes is
Against
not
one
playing
of the
around.
youngest quarterbacks in the NFL.
They play Saturday,
But-
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the game before my game, yes. So my favorite thing about this whole matchup is it's two former Eagles coaches. You got Reed against Peterson. How
Okay.
fun is this going to be for me?
Yeah. Are you rooting for either of them?
Reed.
Okay. Now,
Peterson's already got a Super Bowl. I know Reed does too, but
yeah.
Again, I'm not. I think Patrick Mahomes can take his pads off at halftime if he wants to.
Dang, that bad.
Here's the
well, the Chargers might have
Second
done that
team's coming
too.
in.
well, here's the outlier of this too. Weather's projecting 26 degrees and snowing. So
Oh.
you got the boys from Jacksonville, Florida, going to Kansas City where the wind cuts through you like a knife. And so you add that little bit of factor into that.
Fans at Arrowhead.
Are just nasty.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not Eagles fans, but
No,
they
they're
never, they
nasty.
didn't flunk Santa
They're
Claus.
close.
But no, I
They'll
think
be there in full force.
Yeah.
again, I think this is where the feel-good story comes to an end. They play them well. I don't see them being able. They don't have the talent across the board to play with Kansas City. Kansas City's going to toy with them.
Agreed.
They're like TCU, their story,
exactly
right? So they're like,
it.
and it's like,
Your heart
okay,
only goes so far.
great story. It ends on Saturday.
Yeah,
I think they keep it closer than that, but yes, you're right. You're in the ballpark.
And
I
I
know
just,
they keep it closer.
I just don't think Kansas City has them in them to mess up. You
Right,
know, like
right.
they're a disciplined team. They're great at playing the game, and it's gonna come down to that versus the Jaguars, who are on a hope and a prayer right now and didn't even expect to be here. I mean, 6 months ago they were like, "Well, we hope we win 5 games." You
Right.
know? So
The only thing that would give them an ounce of opportunity here is what my Bengals did last week. I think the Bengals overlooked the Raiders looking forward to this game and let them hang around way too close and way too late. Is Kansas City going to overlook Jacksonville already looking ahead to a rematch with Cincinnati and Buffalo? It's quite possible, but I think Andy Reid's too good of a coach. He's not going to let
There
them
you
do
go.
it. He's not going to
I
let
would
them
say
do it.
that's the difference.
He won't let them do it.
Andy Reid keeps them grounded.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow playing
BDJ.
against Buffalo, going to Buffalo to play, right?
God bless making that the hype
Buffalo
around
better
this
do a
game.
better job getting their bleep together than
Yeah.
last week.
No. You let them just keep doing what they're doing.
So Cincinnati started off slow, but they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think that Joe Burrow. I mean, I remember on the second episode of this show, we didn't know Joe Burrow's name. We were trying to think that guy from LSU that's playing really good, and then he wins the Heisman that year. That was like mid-November, and we're like trying to figure out who Joe Burrow is when we're talking about the quarterback from LSU. Like, I've been a fan of the guy in general, just the way that he has the confidence and the ability to play. and he shows it in the NFL. I mean, he led them to the Super Bowl last year. So
I don't know if there's anybody. Is there anybody has been as just cool under pressure since Montana as Joe Burrow? I mean, that dude don't get rattled.
He's a lot more mature than his age.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the key to go
In
ahead.
this game here, I just think it's just awesome.
It's
Weather may play a factor. I don't know what that's going to be like,
But
but
Josh
both
Allen
two
gets
good
rattled.
teams.
Josh Allen gets totally rattled.
so the weather could, but the thing I think that helps is Cincinnati's used to playing in the cold. I mean, not as cold as Buffalo by any stretch of the
Right.
imagination.
Right.
The key piece of this is going to be, can Cincinnati get after Josh Allen enough that they can't expose Eli Apple, because he is terrible. He is absolutely awful. Okay, so if they give him time to throw the ball, it might be a long day for Cincinnati. But if they can get into his face, again, Joe Burrow is one of those guys, finds a way. I mean, he finds a way to win. You're not going to rattle him. And I mean, I projected my pick earlier was San Francisco Buffalo, and a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's my heart overriding my head here a little bit. I think the Bengals are going to make the run back and see if they got just enough left in the tank more than they did last year.
But you need your offensive line to get healthy. 60% of your offensive line is going to be backup.
Correct. That's it. Again, that's
Who's
the other piece
favored
to
in
get
that
to.
game?
Buffalo at 4 points because it's at home. What they will tell you is if the spread's 3 points, it's because of home field advantage. No, it's home field. So it's at 4, so you have a slight
It was at
advantage.
5 when I got here. It was
So
5.
basically the slide edge of Buffalo.
yeah.
Yeah, but I will tell you, if Cincinnati plays,
Tough game.
if Cincinnati plays the way they did against the Ravens, Buffalo beats them.
And I mean, Josh Allen was sacked 7 times last week.
Yeah.
So that offensive line is porous as can be. 7 sacks against Miami. I mean, Miami's not known as a defensive juggernaut by any means, and they are able to sack him 7 times. Give up 1 fumble and 2 interceptions as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen had a sloppy game last week against Miami. If he does it again this week, the Bengals aren't going to allow that to happen.
That's what I was going to say is they exposed him a little bit. They exposed him a little bit last week. Is it a matter, can they fix that before this week? Because I will tell you, for as bad as the secondary for Cincinnati is, their linebackers are really, really good. So it's just going to be a matter of can they get in his face and make him hurry up, and then hope those DBs can tackle for less than 10 yards. And I'm telling you, Eli Apple's terrible. He's terrible. He cost him the Super Bowl last year.
He was last game.
He was terrible, and he cost him the Super Bowl. I'm bitter. He cost him the Super Bowl last year, so I'm still bitter.
Let's get into college basketball real briefly. We only got a few minutes left of the show.
Yep.
And we all like to talk college basketball, especially my man Who's Your Daddy here. He is a basketball coach. He is a ex-college basketball player. This guy knows his stuff. So I want to have these conversations as we go forward and through March. If everyone's still on board to keep on going with the show, we shall see if anyone needs sabbaticals. I don't know. Somebody might need a sabbatical. I won't say his name, but he's got to go work out. I could give him some 5-pound dumbbells to work out with here if he wants to while we're doing the show. Houston, still the number 1 team in the nation. Is this team really that good, or is their schedule in the AAC just that easy? They've only played 2 teams that were ranked. They beat Virginia
At home.
and they lost to
Which is a good
Alabama, the number 4 team in the nation. No other ranked teams on their schedule. Is Houston really that legit? Who's your daddy? I'm sure you watched a few of their games. Talk to me.
I have a very, very athletic team, and I think they're legit. I really do, regardless of the conference they play in. And I know they don't have I don't know if they have a ranked team left on their schedule.
Not
They
as it
don't.
stands right now. They
Regulation.
don't.
They do not.
But still, I think they'll have some tough tests in that league. They're on the road some places.
They got to go to Cincinnati and play
Teams
Sled Out.
that are not really supposed to beat them. I'm not saying they'll lose, but I think there'll be some close games.
But are they like Gonzaga, where they're a number 1 seed, and then all of a sudden they don't even make the Sweet 16, or get knocked out of the Sweet 16? Is that the type of team they're going to
Well,
be?
it's hard to say because here's what you see teams like Gonzaga run into versus like if they played the ACC or the SEC or something like that, or even the Big Ten at this point, is you can be very talented, but if you're not pushed frequently enough, what happens when you get into the tournament after that first round when you're facing a ranked team for 4 weeks in a row? Can that wear you down? I think that's what's happened to Gonzaga the last couple of years because, I mean, they were a very, very good team. It's just they don't take that beating and punishment week in and week out. Now,
any ranked teams that Gonzaga plays are in the beginning of the season.
Correct.
Same thing with Houston. They played a couple ranked teams.
I honestly think
season.
Gonzaga has a better shot at running deep this year because they really front-loaded their schedule and they got beat up. They got smacked around a little bit early on to where they got some battle scars out of this. Houston's a great story. They are a very, very athletic basketball team. They are fun to watch. Look, Virginia's always ranked. They're miserable to watch. They're miserable. They're just this side of Dean Smith Four Corners, boring. Okay, Houston. I mean, it ain't Phi Slamma Jamma, but they like to get up and move the ball a little bit. So the thing is, what I love about college basketball is this: unlike college football as a habit, they can make a run, and I don't care who you play. The worst team in college basketball can be the best team in college basketball if the three-point line gets hot. I mean, College of Charleston hit 15 three-pointers in a game last night. I don't care who you're playing. You win the game if you do that. So does Houston have the talent to make the run? Absolutely they do. They should be very healthy by the time they get there. But the question at hand is going to be, once they're past that first round, now they're playing like a middle-tier ACC team, and now you're playing in the top 10 moving through all the way to the championship. Do they have enough gas in the tank to do it? Do they have enough chops to pull through those tough games? And we'll see. I mean, do they have the talent? Absolutely.
Another big thing I just really didn't know but the Final Four.
Is it Houston?
Houston.
That's awesome.
All right.
So if they get there, I mean, that's
They home field advantage.
Yeah, that's great. All right,
and I think they were just in the Final Four like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been recently. They've put together a good team regularly, so I'm not doubting them. I'm just saying that the AAC is not exactly the place to play. Big 12 is the place to play. We're looking at Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, TCU, Texas. All those guys are looking good. They're all in the top 25. And Kansas and Kansas State are playing right now. Kansas, as you said, is losing the game right now as we speak.
I'm trying to get
so
it up.
If that's the case, I mean, that's a place where people get beat up all season long when you're in. I mean, Baylor's not one to shake a stick at is either. They're a good team, even though they're not ranked.
Kansas State is up 3 with 10 to play. The more interesting, as we're just kind of muddling around through this, after Tennessee's loses to Kentucky in a barn burner, they're tied with an unranked Mississippi State right now with 11 minutes to play.
Oh, wow.
This is the beauty of college basketball. I mean, you see this every week. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And when you get to the tournament, I think Tennessee's a team you look out for. I think Kansas State is a team to look out for. And another one nobody's really talking about because they fired the coach, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
They've only lost 2 games all year.
Yeah, and then if you're looking at the Big 12, I mean, there's a competition between Texas, Iowa State, TCU, Kansas State. Like, these are all teams that are playing very good basketball right now, and I don't think that we're gonna have I feel bad. I feel bad for any team that has a play in that conference just because of that.
And you look at Purdue, 17-1. They've lost 1 game all year. They got a big 7'4", 7'5" kid inside. Eddie or Edie is his name.
Oh, he's
a
very
mammoth.
good.
Yeah.
But the thing I will say, though, with this, which if you've seen this the last couple of years, and I've got a whole nother show we can talk about why this happens, is though you've seen this happen the last couple of years, these kind of teams come out of nowhere, they have great seasons, but every year it seems like the Blue Bloods rise to the top. By the end of the season, they figure it out. They're there at the end of the year. So, I'm not sold on these kind of. I mean, if you look at the top 25 right now, I mean, there's a lot of faces you haven't seen there in quite a while. Alabama, TCU, College of Charleston is ranked like 18th in the country this week. Miami, I mean, but I think by the time the end of the year rolls around, the powers that be will right the ship and be right there again.
Charleston's won 18 in a row.
Yes.
Now look if you get into the Big East, you got UConn, right? Yeah. They are
a great girls' school.
They have a great girls basketball team. They go up and down with the men's basketball as well. Now they started off strong. They were playing a lot of ranked teams in the beginning as well. And then the Big East is a tough place to play basketball as well. I mean, even like UConn just lost to St. John's. They lost to Marquette, and now they're in a situation where I think they're ranked number 15 right now in the college basketball.
Yeah.
So in the most recent top 25. Xavier is the top dog in the Big East. I don't even know if they're ranked right now.
Xavier, they're 9th, I think.
9th, okay, yes. And they're 6-0 in the Big East. 14-3 overall. That's a conference where anything can happen though, because all of these teams are relatively good basketball schools, you know.
Well, and the Big East is trying to morph back into what the Big East used to be, and it's a basketball conference. I mean, most of their resources go into basketball. Yeah, they have football programs, but that's not where the concentration of that is, and that's where the resources pour into. And that's why back in the days of Georgetown and Syracuse and UConn and Providence and those battles they used to have was those very reasons. And I think the Big East is trying to recognize what their identity is. They got lured away by the football carrot there for a little while, but I think they're like, yeah, let's do who we are and go back to it. And they're doing a pretty good job of it at this point.
Oh, absolutely. SEC though.
I was going to say, no, before you get to that.
Okay.
3 deficits I see on here. 3 things. This is my old college pain that I'm suffering. Villanova's not on there. Kentucky's not on there. Duke isn't on there. I mean, what's going on with these schools?
There's one more that ain't on there that's dear and dear to me.
North Carolina's not
who has lost more games by preseason number 1 through this point of season in history.
So what's up with these schools?
These are schools that, I mean, Duke obviously, Coach K is not there right now. It's a different program. So we understand what's going on there.
Right.
But then you got Kentucky. Everyone's calling for the coach's head
right
now.
Right.
I'm sure they're calling for y'all's coach's head at North Carolina.
No, North Carolina's just very, very young. You get outside of their starting 5, they're all freshmen.
Okay.
And so you look at it from that perspective. The thing which I'm not so concerned about North Carolina is they were doing this last year. They started out really slow, lost some sloppy games they shouldn't have won, but right before they hit it started with them beating Duke the last game of the year in Cameron, and off to the races they were.
And you know, this is a year with the transfer portal does not make it makes more of an impact to basketball than it does to football, because you only need 1 or 2 real good players.
You could put only 5 on the floor.
There might be a team this year with 9 or 10 losses that wins the national championship. I mean, because you get playing good at the end of the year.
College basketball has morphed into just get to the tournament. Do what you got to do to get into the tournament, and then play your best basketball. And I'm okay with that.
It's way too early in the season to tell who's good, who's not.
It is, that's true. Yeah. And if you're getting over to the SEC real fast, you got Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. They're at the top of the conference. They're fighting for that top spot. I think it's Alabama has no losses in the SEC, and then Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee each have 1 loss so far. But and I even have it in my notes. It's too early to tell who's going to win the SEC championship. With that being said, Florida is coming into this right now where they're starting to play some good basketball as well.
Of course they are.
Who knows what's going to happen with that? I don't have any confidence in
Hanger,
them.
let me make you feel better. Florida Atlantic is ranked 24th.
Yes, they are.
They're 17-1.
Wow.
I mean, and if we're going down to Florida, Miami, an unexpected player in that as well.
17.
Miami will find a way to peter out. They always do. They'll get in the tournament as about a 6 to a 9 seed, lose in the second
Miami's
round.
a scrappy team.
They are. They got a Hall of Fame coach.
Scrappy
I
team.
like the coach. I like the coach a lot.
What the fuck?
Yes.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
All right, I'd like to discuss. Dang it.
Last call.
We
What
can get
the
through
fuck?
it. We can get through it.
All right. I'll have another one for last call then. Thank you. So, what the fuck? I'll start with the what the fuck of mine just to make it easy, all right? Since we're on college basketball, let's discuss a college basketball school like no other, okay? The powerhouse of the SEC right now, and that is Alabama. Are they now a basketball school now that they're falling away from football, or what?
No,
They won. They beat LSU 106 to 66 the other night.
No, they're good. They're good, but it's still a football school. I'm sorry.
right.
Alabama will never be a basketball.
What the fuck, Alabama?
And they just lost the starting players.
Who's your daddy? Give me a what the fuck.
My what the fuzz, what happened at Rupp Arena, and the guy that held up the sign, I don't know what he was thinking. I know there's freedom of speech, but why you would hold up a sign, not even thinking about, and I know there were empty seats around him, but the people
a lot of empty
behind him
seats out
trying to watch the game, and he's holding up a sign.
Go to Texas.
What the
What the
fuck?
fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck, cheeks?
Okay, so my what the fuck.
You always have 3 of them, so narrow it
I
down
only
to
did
one.
one today.
Okay.
Dirty Dog Brady. Because I love to go at Dirty Dog Brady.
He played a dirty game last night.
He did. I mean,
Tell me more.
If he's not whining, if he's not complaining, if he's not asking for penalties, whatever. So, as what was supposed to be a fumble turned out to not be a fumble. Anyway, he slid in to kind of kick trip the guy who was recovering the fumble. This isn't his first roundabout on this, okay? He did this in October against the Falcons and got fined $11,000. If they find him guilty this time, he's got to pay him $17,000.
What the fuck, Tom Brady? What the
Stop
fuck?
playing dirty.
Give it to me. Choppa, what the fuck?
What the fuck? When fellow podcasters take sabbaticals, what the fuck? Missing you, Ohio State.
We love you,
What
Ripper.
the fuck? That's because Ohio State's not winning football games and they're not winning basketball games right now. I mean,
They're winning
wouldn't
fishing
you be sad about that
The
too?
girls are number 2 in the country.
Well, we don't talk female basketball
Just
usually
telling you,
unless it's
they're playing
Carolina.
well.
What the fuck?
Well, you want some college football flavor? I'm going to give you one here.
Rebel, what the fuck?
Appalachian State. Somebody did a poll of the most exciting football games of this year. They were in 3 of the top 10 most exciting football games of the year, 4 of the top 100. Yet they finish 6-7 or 5-6 or 5-7. I'm like, guys, come on! I mean, you had all it there. You had the attention, and you dropped the ball, and you missed an opportunity.
What the
fuck?
fuck, State?
So
And y'all even got, what was it? You guys got freaking College Game Day to
Yes,
come to your
yes.
Well, that game I think was number 2 or number 3 exciting for the year because
Oh my
of the
God,
Hail Mary
swimming
at
from
the
the
end.
swimming pool. What are you thinking?
Yes.
Last call. So after last weekend, has your Super Bowl prediction changed at all since last week? Give it to me, cheeks.
Yeah, it has. I've been predicting all along that it's going to be the Bills and the Eagles, and the Bills are going to win. I've now switched, and I've decided the Eagles are going to beat the Bills.
All right. What about you,
It
Chopper?
has not changed. Week 1, I said Super Bowl would be the Bills versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys winning the Super Bowl this year. Everybody laughed week 1. It can still happen.
What the
going
fuck?
to.
I mean, last call.
No, it's last call.
Kind of like the what the fuck.
What about you, Who's Your Daddy? Has anything changed about your...
Well, I picked the Eagles and Buffalo as well on the cheeks, but now I'm going to change and say the winner of this game this weekend, Cincinnati Buffalo, will win the Super Bowl.
Whoever wins that game wins the Super Bowl. Okay.
That's a good call. That's a good
What
call.
about you?
My initial was San Francisco, Buffalo, but as it's migrated over the last few weeks and Cincinnati found their way, I mean, I kind of changed it a couple weeks ago. I think we got Bengals and 49ers, and again, I think BDJ gets it done this year, man. Maybe it's
That
my
would be a
heart
fun
thinking
game.
like that, but I think Burrow finds a way.
That's a great story.
Just keep the ball out of their defensive backfield, and we're
I
gonna be
wouldn't
good.
mind either one. It would be fun. It'll be a fun game. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that whoever wins this Bills versus Bengals game this weekend has a pretty good shot of obviously being the Super Bowl.
Right.
But then it comes down to who do they play.
They're playing Kansas City. We
Yeah.
all know that Jacksonville's not going to
Yeah, I mean, that comes down to it. So
Yeah.
Kansas City and Bills, or I don't know. I mean, I haven't decided yet. Nothing's changed. I still say Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl, baby.
You want to put money? You want to put beers for a year
I'll
on
put
that?
beers for a year on it. You heard it here first.
And what year is that?
They win a Super Bowl at some point in the future. That's right. Okay. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining for Guys Bar Talking Sports. We are out. This is Guys Bar Talking.
Sports.
See you. Do you want to help support the show? Well, we're doing it for beer. So go ahead and buy us a beer. You can do that through Venmo at Guys of the Bar Talking Sports, and we'll look forward to drinking that beer on you.